Jesus said don't help the poor unless they filed the proper forms and weren't born in El Salvador, then walked a real long way. Blessed is the war machine, the merciless, the persecution. Poor man don't deserve a thing for which he cannot pay. Wait, those are things Jesus didn't say. But he did say, love your neighbor as yourself, and blessed are the meek. Be kind to a stranger, 'cause that stranger, he is me. Best not build your castle on a mountain made of sand. And if you really love your God, you'll love your fellow man.
Welcome to the Dollar Bill Show, episode 39. Hey, everybody. I'm off of the coffee now. I gave it up, man. I'll donate it to one of the NA meetings or something. I'm off of it. I'm on the green tea. And I had a Coke earlier. Not some Coke, a Coke. I was watching the show Pawn Stars, which first look, this fucking show, it gets on my nerves. I remember back in the day before it was even a show, like somebody left this brand new Sony camera and it wasn't even out in America, and it was like a Japanese person in Las Vegas that left this camera, and it was this awesome digital camera, and hadn't even came out in America yet, and so I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I had no use for it. I already had cameras, and I took it to that pawn shop, and it was that same pawn shop, and it was that dude's son, Rick's son, whatever his name is on the show. And like, this was back, they had like a fucking, a window, like the window at McDonald's, the drive-through window, and there was like bars and shit in it. And, dude, this motherfucker offered me $20 for that camera, and like I ended up just giving it to one of my coworkers who said that they wanted it. But I was like, "Fuck these guys, dude! They're ripping people." But and that camera was like a $1,200 camera. And anyway, I was watching it. I was watching Pawn Stars today, and this lady, she brought in, it was like, she must have fucking rented a U-Haul truck to bring them. They were like these two big giant puppets that came from Jim Henson's factory, like, and were supposed to be like early puppets that or something, you know. But when they did like that show Fraggle Rock and stuff, these puppets were like, some of them looked like they're as big as they've used cameras and stuff, but they looked like big as a house. And like these two things, there was like one of them that looked like this big giant shrimp. And so anyway, of course, like that dude Rick, he's a fucking tightwad, so he calls in some expert, and like this lady shows up, and she's like, we're from the Jim Henson estate, and they work with that company. And she was like, and thank you for your call last night. And she was like, because it's very well documented. She was a bitch. She was like, it's very well documented from every piece that's ever been created here, like where they end up and all of this stuff. It's all documented. And anyway, I was talking to Brenda in archives, and we've concluded that these are in no way, shape, or form a part of anything that Jim Henson created. And like this lady, like, she looked devastated, and like everybody was looking at her like she was a fucking moron. And I couldn't imagine, like, you like come all this way to be on their fucking TV show, and then they come in and tell you some shit like that. Like, I would be so fucking mad. I would be so embarrassed that I came onto TV and did that. And I felt horrible for this lady. I felt horrible that she had to go through that. I was like, what a mess, man. I had a friend one time, and it was right after that show came on the air, and he was like obsessed with this fucking shit with the Pawn Stars show, and all he wanted to do his whole fucking trip in Las Vegas was go to this pawn shop and meet these guys. And I was like, dude, it doesn't work like that. Like, the people that they schedule shooting for that show, and like, these fucking people don't even work there anymore that you see. Like, they don't even work there probably. Like, and anyway, man, and it's in North Vegas, anywhere on the north end of the of the strip. And I drove over there like 5 fucking different times so he could just like try to buy autographs of these fucking people that work in the pawn shop. And I went mental. I fucking went the last time, like, I went crazy. And because I was like, you're fucking paying for an autograph for some guy that works in the fucking pawn shop. So anyway, I was watching this a little bit ago. And I do watch it pretty often, and it's on right now. And I just realized that I fucking love Pawn Stars. Like, I love this shit. I love watching this. So, okay. This right here should be the biggest news story in the world right now. This should be on every front page of every fucking newspaper. This should be at 6 p.m. or whatever time the news comes on. This should be the first fucking story. If our news was real and for the people, this should be the story that's on everybody's fucking lips. But instead, it's only on some lady's fucking Instagram with a couple thousand followers.
Talk about something that isn't getting more coverage, and I genuinely do not understand why. Maybe it's because Donald's brinksmanship vis-a-vis the Iran conflict is sucking up all of the oxygen. But this story should be on the front page of every newspaper in America. So far, during our research, coverage has been restricted to local news outlets, a handful of international news sources, and news outlets already targeted by the Trump regime, like PBS. Because what we're seeing looks like the Trump regime is using taxpayer dollars literally to pay back the private prison companies that bankrolled his reelection. And they're doing this in part by ramping up immigration arrests of non-criminals in order to fill those prisons. If everything appears to be as it seems, this is not just unethical. It is a textbook example of quid pro quo corruption. And the most disturbing part, it seems like this has been the plan from the very beginning. So let's break down what's happening. Donald recently declared a national emergency, claiming ICE needed thousands more detention beds. So his solution? Handing out massive no-bid contracts to 2 of the biggest private prison firms in the country, CoreCivic and GEO Group, both of which donated millions of dollars to his campaign and allied PACs. These contracts are not just large, they are grotesquely large. CoreCivic secured a $4.2 million per month contract to reopen a 1,033-bed facility in Leavenworth, Kansas, a facility a federal judge once described as a hellhole due to the stabbing, suicides, and rampant abuse at that facility. GEO got a $66 million contract to reopen a shuttered prison in Georgia. These deals were awarded without any competitive bidding. bypassing standard procedure under the guise of urgent need. In order to get more detention beds, the Trump regime has modified dozens of existing agreements with contractors and used no-bid contracts, meaning the contract is automatically given to whomever Donald chooses. And when Leavenworth city officials tried to enforce a basic permitting process, the Trump regime overrode them.
Like I've said before, like if the average person knew what it was like inside of one of these facilities, they would be closed tomorrow. Like when I was locked up in Pinellas County in Florida, like when you look out the window, there's like a dozen basketball courts and they're all beautiful. Like, and that's all strictly for torture. You never see one person go out there and play basketball on those courts. It's all, everything is like strategically designed to make you suffer. And it's all a psychological warfare, like the things that they do to you. And you see this right now. This is nothing new. And like, you know what? And these fucking, there's a bunch of Illuminati puppets who are our biggest, some of them are biggest fucking musicians in the world, biggest actors in the world, and all of this stuff. Like I've had some of these fools already coming at, they try to pull you into beef with them. And it's so, and it's because they don't, why would they have a lot of these people are so bought off. Why would they have a problem with any of this shit? So they want to pull you into a beef with them, especially these rappers and stuff. And just like, I get that right there, it for real is the devil. So it's like, you have to rise above it. And it's been a real test because they'll like make threats against everything, your children, all kinds of shit like that in whatever, in lyrics, and then back and forth on the internet, things like that, and trying to draw you into this conflict. And it's like, it truly has been a test to rise above it, because it's like, it's time for real change. And it's not going to come from these puppets and clowns. It's going to come from people like me or you, because look, I investigated it when I was in Pinellas County, and like, you look in these big corporations, they own all of this stuff. Even in the county jails, the commissary that sells you your t-shirts and socks and underwear and like that, and ramen soups, which are like marked up to probably now fucking almost $2 for one single ramen soup. Like where you can get 6 of them at the store for 80 cents or whatever it is. And these are companies like that company that owned that one is Halliburton. It's under that umbrella company. And it's actually linked in that company, I found out, was linked to George W. Bush's wife. Like, so it's like, if you're friends with these people who run everything, that's just fucking like giving away money. But it's like, it truly is evil because they're making their way off of the suffering of people. So why would they want to end the suffering of the people? You see what I'm saying? And it's just, it's time for real change. And we have to look into these, and like, we have to look into other countries, how they're modeling their criminal justice system and the way that they have made it better and more. Because I know we got to do something with these people when they commit murders and heinous crimes and stuff like that. But you really have to look at the core of what our society is that makes a person want to do something like that, and it's lack of education. Like, I tried to get a news source to play that about that woman, and like, they wouldn't even have nothing to do with me, man. This person that I know, because they're so fucking stoned and brainwashed from being in the Trump cult, like, that they won't even fucking say, like, that's the proof right there. They won't even fucking say anything or report on it like that to the people. And it's just absolutely horrible how you could literally support. There is going to be trials like the Nuremberg trials eventually for all of these people. And I hope and pray that I live to get to see all of these motherfuckers go to prison and get exactly what they deserve. And And there's a whole lot of fucking comedians and actors and all of this shit that are all going along with it. I see all of y'all sitting at that fucking inauguration. You just will fucking suck anybody's dicks to fucking go to the White House or something like that. Shame on you, you sorry motherfuckers. This fucking history of Nazi Germany, man, this is 1 generation ago, dude. There's people living that were fucking in these places. Shame on you motherfuckers. And I hope that history remembers where you stood. Fuck you. Good night.